let's try this one more time. We're done with a camera on us. Hey. Okay. So, people that are listening, you hear me talk English again. That's not the thing we normally do with SharQ Talk, but sometimes it's needed. Because with this introduction to SharQ Talk, we have a special artist, a really special musician in the ECI Cultuurfabriek, the ECI Culture Factory, if you want to pronounce it in English. Because tonight, you are too late, people. Tonight, you missed a really great night. But we have another SharQ Sessions live. And every time we have a SharQ Sessions live, we do an introduction to the artist. And for the people that are listening to the podcast, soon there will be 2 videos online as well from this evening. Not from this evening, from the sessions. And from the evening, you should have been there. If you weren't, or you still listening to this one, and you were, you know how great it was. So just let's start with this introduction to Charlie Hall. I think, yeah, great. No. I saw you at a Sofar Sounds video. I think it was from Ghent. Mm-hmm. Ghent, I think. But I found far more Sofar Sounds gigs from you. Let's start at the beginning. What sort of musician are you? What kind of music do you make?
At the moment, I would say that I'm a singer-songwriter. When I play live, it's mainly with acoustic guitar, but when I record, it's got all sorts of things, piano and electric guitar and different things, a whole band. But yeah, I'd say that I'm
today.
I didn't bring a piano today. No,
sorry.
It's harder to get on the Eurostar. But yeah, I'm a songwriter, yeah, singer-songwriter.
And you have been to Holland before?
Yeah.
The noise you hear, I think that's the coffee maker or such thing. Sorry, people, but you have been to Holland before, but you played Utrecht, Amsterdam, I think.
Yeah,
Leiden.
I did a show in Leiden. I did a show in The Hague. Yeah, all over the place. It's such a beautiful place. I love it.
But you never been to Limburg?
Never been this far south. I've been to Tilburg. It's about as far south as I've been.
Yeah, that's not that far south. No. For us, it's not that far south. And that's the reason why I have sent an invitation to you to come to play a SharQ Sessions live, because we want to have musicians that didn't play before in Limburg, or bands from Limburg that don't play outside their own church region. I always name it like that. I don't know the better English word for it.
The church region?
Yeah, you have a church in the middle of your city, and then you play around the church, and don't come farther than that. So you only play Maastricht and don't come to Heerlen or Roermond or Venlo, and you only stay on your own little town. And I think that's sad, because you should play more diverse cities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, it's a bit like the town that I'm from in the UK is a town called Bournemouth, which is a fairly big town. It's got about 200,000 people.
That's big.
It's by the it's by the sea. It's in the south, but it's sometimes kind of dwarfed by bigger cities. And we find that people go to London, they go to Bristol, and go to Brighton.
How far
Manchester.
is it from London then?
From London, it's about 2 hours from London.
Okay, so the same distance you traveled here today.
Yeah, it's not too far, but we find that there are bigger towns around it, bigger cities that get better cultural events.
And of course, the concerts are there and not around.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot going on in Bournemouth. There's a lot of arts.
There is.
Yeah, loads.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's harder to get people to come down.
But the Spice Girls didn't announce a tour in how do you pronounce it?
Bournemouth. Yeah.
Bournemouth. They announced it to go to London instead.
Yeah, you do get some people come play. We have a big arena now.
Okay,
so they have.
That's cool.
We had Bob Dylan play. We had Nick Cave and Leonard Cohen. So
It
is on the map, but it's not as big as Manchester or Bristol.
Of course,
or Brighton.
But the differences between the Netherlands and England or the UK in that matter. It's a big difference, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
If the Spice Girls will play here, it's just Amsterdam. And that's it. Never go to the south. But you're playing tonight. We record this before your show. As I mentioned, you played a lot of Sofar Sounds. How does that? What's the reason for that?
I think that that's such an amazing, unique experience, and such an amazing network as well. So mainly over the last 12 months, I've had the chance to go to lots of countries and lots of cities and play lots of Sofar Sounds. So I started in London, and then I from there I got to know the people that put them on in Paris and the people that put them on all around the UK, and I got to go to Scandinavia and play all at like Oslo and Stockholm and Copenhagen, and then I got to travel all the way down Eastern Europe as well, and all these amazing places that I would never get the chance to tour if it wasn't for Sofar Sounds.
But do you have that list of Sofar Sounds with all the 250 or more cities at this moment, and just give them a check, like this one, this one,
yeah,
and I still want to do that
so
one?
So they have about 400 now, I think, around the world.
Oh.
It just keeps building, and yeah, I've got a little bit of a list now.
But still, places you want to go, I think. There are some amazing cities on the
list.
list.
Yeah, I mean, I've only done places in Europe so far, so yeah, I'd love to travel more, go to America, South America, and Asia as well.
For the people that don't know Sofar Sounds, go over to the YouTube channel of Sofar Sounds. There are daily updates with new musicians, new videos, because, as Charlie just said, there are 400 cities at this moment recording.
Yeah,
having artists over each week or each month, so there's a lot of content.
Yeah, I think I've got a fair few videos up there now, because of all the touring I've done. I think the best one I got, I think, was this one in Turin.
Oh yeah,
which was so cool. It was like this amazing room. It was the best room I've ever played in, I think, and it had this grand piano and there's some incredible art around the walls.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some other good ones. I played in Athens and Sofia as well.
But how does that work? Because you're from the UK, then you need to travel to Athens or to Turin or other cities. You only do play one show then, or do you have a tour around it?
Yeah, so I build it into a tour. So when I went to Scandinavia, for instance, I did, I think, 7 Sofars over 10 days. Oh. So you can build it into a tour. So I wouldn't just go and do one.
No, that doesn't make any sense if you would do that.
Yeah, but if you have a few in a row, then it makes sense. Yeah.
And you did some shows in Holland this tour. We were talking about that before. Is there any plan for next year then? Is there, because you're setting up things for a bigger event, I guess? Yeah,
definitely. Well, I think my main thing for 2019 is I'm going to release an album at the start of the year, and then there'll be some headline shows that I'll be promoting, probably mainly in London and Amsterdam at the moment, just to start things off and see what the reaction is, see if I can get people to come along and sell tickets. But yeah, there'll be lots of touring next year because of the album coming out, so I'll need to promote that. And
so the people that were here tonight, they're gonna hear the new music first.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And they know, and then they are gonna buy the ticket for Amsterdam, travel 2 hours because they want to see you again. And then
yeah, well, I hope to do some more stuff in the Netherlands and move around as well, but there's no plans at the moment to do that. So it's just going to be in Amsterdam.
That's looking at the moment to the video. Please book him. I can't do that every time. Come on, people. Yeah. Just book him everywhere, and especially I think the Rozenknopje in Eindhoven would be really nice for you to play. It's a really great venue. It has a really high ceiling. It's like an old church. But then really small, and it's not a church because it's a cafe, restaurant thing.
Great. Well, the thing is that at the moment, I'm not working with a booking agent at all. So I'm booking all the gigs myself. So if anybody has any venues or promoters or anything they want to send over to me, just get in touch. Same way you did. Because at the moment, I'm just looking for the best little places to play.
I think it was just Instagram, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you got a new Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah,
the other one get hacked.
I have a new Instagram now. Yeah.
So just Charlie Hall now? Or
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same username, but I have no followers now because I got hacked.
Oh yeah, it always gets stupid when people get hacked. But it happens these days. Tonight you're gonna play a set of 1 hour. Do you have how much work do you have? How long do you do this?
You mean
for how long have you been being a musician? Besides all your life,
yeah,
of course.
no, I started playing music when I was 11 years old. I started writing songs when I was 11.
What's your age now?
25.
Okay.
So I was just writing songs and not doing much with them. And when I was 14, I made some recordings. And then I got to work with a producer called Jim Cregan, and I started making more music with him. When I was 15, and then I was 16, I put out an EP and an album, and yeah, so it's been my whole life. Yeah, I was actually very, very young when I started, which is strange to think about now. There's a song called "Stones on a Sandy Beach" that I still play it every single gig, and I usually open with it. I think it sort of puts me at ease in a way, to just play something so familiar, and I found the lyric book the other day that I wrote that song, and I worked out from the date that I was 15 when I wrote it, and it's crazy to think about now.
It's just a decade ago.
It's so long ago. Yeah, but it feels fresh every time I play it. So it's.
Oh, that's good. That means it is a really good song.
Well, I think it just means that it means something to me, and it puts me in a place where I feel comfortable enough to perform. So, yeah, I mean, like some songs just stay with you, and some of those songs I wrote when I was 15, 16, they still resonate with me, at some level. So,
but if you're already doing this for 11 years, how much music do you have by now? Then that's a lot.
Oh yeah, loads of music. Yeah, yeah. It's hard to whittle it down sometimes, but the good songs will find their way to the top, and the bad ones just get kind of forgotten, and that's just the way it works.
But how long is the list then now? Because you're gonna play an hour today.
Yeah.
When you do a headliner show, you just mention it. Is that gonna be 90 minutes then, or just?
Well, so
full on nuts, 3 hours,
like
and
for an hour, you'll probably play like between 10 and 12 songs.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of how long the set will be. An hour and a half, 2 hours. I think the songs that you end up playing live again and again, it's mainly the same songs. I've written a lot of songs. I've written hundreds of songs, but they don't get played. Often. Tend to go back to the same 12, the same 15.
And when people are looking for you online, what can they find? Because you just released a new single. What's the name of it?
Find Someone Who Cares.
That's the one I love. That's the one I fell in love with at the Sofar Sounds video. But that's already that's released just last week.
Yeah.
But just a few weeks earlier, you released another one, isn't it?
Yeah, the city. Yeah. There's been 4 singles released this year, and there'll be a few more next year with the album. So the main thing at the moment is Spotify is what most people are using. But around the world, it's sometimes different. Sometimes people use Deezer. Sometimes people use Apple Music. But there's a lot of music out on those platforms, and then other stuff is mainly sort of Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and
YouTube for the Sofar Sounds. Because I just downloaded a YouTube video, of course, of that song. Yeah. And then strapped down to an MP3, and that's ended up in my iTunes, of course, because you didn't release it yet, and now you did. So I can
also there's different versions of of those songs. So the one that ended up on Spotify is it's got piano and drums and bass and some cello, but when I play it live on the YouTube songs, mainly it's just
Guitar,
just me and a guitar. Yeah.
And that one you can hear soon on the YouTube channel of me. I'm gonna put a link in the description, of course, to both songs. But they're gonna release, I think, next week or the week after. But that's stupid to talk about times in the podcast because you don't know when this is gonna be listened to. So maybe it's there, but then you see it in the show notes, of course. So a lot of singles this year because 4 is a lot for a musician to put out. And next year then working towards that album. Are there any goals you have for yourself that you want to reach before you're 30 or such things? Do you work with a timeline for that?
I think to some degree, any goal that I had in the music industry, or my goals for my career have been constantly reevaluated and adapted and changed a little bit. I think when I started out, there was a kind of indefinable goal. You know, it was like I couldn't really put my finger on what it is exactly, sort of tangible that I wanted. And as I developed and I got older and I worked out exactly what I wanted and how I was going to get there as well. And that still changes all the time. But I think that your goals in anything have to constantly adapt and constantly evolve. And you have to keep raising the bar, or sometimes you have to lower the bar when you realize that some things are out of reach or some things are not actually what you wanted. So at the moment, my goals are to release the album that I've already made, and to get my live performances up to a standard where I'm selling, venues out as like a headline act. So, and that could be 20 tickets, it could be 30, 50.
It depends.
It could be 100, but like that's kind of where I'm at the moment, you know.
Because when you grew up, I mean, you're 25. Back in the days, you only saw bands playing the Wembley stadiums and such things. And now Ed Sheeran is standing there and all by himself.
Yeah.
And he can fill up that room 70 times without a problem.
Yeah.
So that changes as well then. I mean...
What, in terms of what people can achieve in the music industry?
And especially as a singer-songwriter, because before you needed a band or a big act, and now you can do
that when Ed Sheeran sold out Wembley Stadium 6-7 times or whatever he's done it now, that changed the game for singer-songwriters or singer-songwriters doing it by themselves. But I mean, there's lots of singer-songwriters that had already done that kind of thing. You know, if you look at Elton John or Paul Simon or Rod Stewart, all these people they'd already kind of achieved that. It's just what Ed Sheeran did that was so different was that he did it just guitar and vocals on that stage, which before he did that was kind of unthinkable. Yeah. You know, any time that you got bigger, you would have to get a bigger band and a bigger show and everything else, you know, and he kind of stripped it right back down. I haven't seen the show, but I'm told it's good.
I'm not the biggest fan, but I just know that he did it, and with
I think that because also Adele has sold out Wembley 4 times or something like that. So it's certainly achievable, but also those people are mega stars. They're huge.
Yeah, of course.
And particularly Ed Sheeran and Adele, they're both in a completely different world to the rest of us. They're anomalies in their own right. They're both just stratospheric megastars. I don't have any ambitions to ever be anywhere near that. So it's like it's a whole different world. I'm not. I think people often see the music industry as like maybe a league table or a hierarchy or you must want to be Ed Sheeran, because that's the pinnacle. That's the climax of everything in the music industry. And I have no ambitions to be that famous or that big or anything like that. I'm not trying to sell out Wembley Stadium. I'm just trying to sell out 50 people in a little cafe, and that's okay for me. That's what I want to do. I think, and you see it with Ed Sheeran. I think that from what I can gather from people I know who know him or from what I've read or whatever, it's like I think he wanted that. He was ambitious enough to go and get that.
That was his goal.
And he got it. And that's what's so amazing to me about him. But there's thousands of other people who are perfectly happy just existing in their own little space, you know, right down the line. And even people that are kind of have been on the same circuit as him, you know, you look at Jamie Lawson or Passenger, Foy Vance, these people, I don't think they want to be in that world.
No, but if you put your own timeline in it and your own goal setting,
Yeah.
you can achieve everything you want, and that everything is depending on what your goals were.
Yeah. Some people are perfectly happy being in the kind of, you know, I'm a great admirer of Damien Rice's career.
Oh, yeah.
And he's one of the reasons that I picked up an acoustic guitar and got into music. But I look at the amount of control that he has over his career now. He can do whatever he wants. He can tour wherever he wants and just do the shows that he wants. He's got it down to a level where it's just people who are so dedicated as fans, and they love him. He doesn't need to get on the radio. He doesn't need to have huge hits. He doesn't have to make a lot of money. He's kind of got everything that I imagine you would want at that level. You know, someone like Damien Rice, or I look at Ben Howard or Lucy Rose. These people, they've got their own little fan base going on where they can tour to those people, release music to those people, and they don't have to worry about, you know, Ed Sheeran now has to go and have another hit.
Of course, yeah. That's
if and he could go a route where maybe he creates music that isn't commercial, and he'd still have a career, but he wouldn't sell out Wembley Stadium again if he was to go down that route. You know, for him to sell out Wembley Stadium again and again and again for like 20 years, he's got to have more hits.
Yeah, true.
So he's kind of in that world now.
He set his own bar, and now he has to jump over it every time.
I'm sure. Like,
himself.
Also, he can't get any bigger. So
No.
I think he knows that he probably might,
Go
you know,
back.
try and contain it, try and control it, try and, you know,
Make it more exclusive and
Yeah.
do the
Yeah,
bigger
he can
festivals.
do what he wants,
Yeah.
and he's talented. Yeah, he can do what he wants.
Yeah,
You
true.
know.
I think that's a great introduction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there anything more you want to say?
I don't think so. No.
No, because we mentioned your youth, your future, and where you're right now,
Yeah.
and that's all we want to do in an introduction. SharQ Talk. So people, give it a listen. Go to Spotify. Go to the link I posted below. Go to the videos whenever they are online. And for the people that are listening, I switched to Dutch for now. Sorry.
Sure.
Want iedereen die nu luistert en dat eigenlijk meteen luistert, of in ieder geval luistert voor 18 december, kan gewoon bij de volgende SharQ Sessions live zijn. Want we gaan maken vandaag, en dat is dus 13 november, maken we bekend tot 18 december, dat is ook weer een dinsdagavond, we een nieuwe SharQ Sessions live gaan doen in de Rockstation in Reuver, wat gewoon bij mij om de hoek is. Dus het wordt een homecoming, en daarom gaan we ook wat speciaals doen. Maar de artiest die sowieso gaat optreden is Mena Goosen, zonder S. Zij komt optreden, ze heeft net een nieuwe EP uit. Dus ze gaat die nummers daar spelen. Het is een wat niet apartere muziek, maar misschien wel wat zwaardere muziek. Maar in december mag het natuurlijk ook allemaal wat meer, wat zwaarder zijn, wat meer donker zijn. Maar daar ook iedereen is daarbij welkom, want ook die show is gewoon gratis. Zoals de show die we vanavond neerzetten in de ECI Cultuurfabriek. SharQ Sessions Live is gewoon gratis, zoals ik al zei. Dat blijft ook gewoon gratis. Maar iedereen die me wil steunen in het hele project wat ik allemaal doe, kan gewoon naar patreon.com/MCSharQ gaan. En voor een kleine donatie kun je heel veel mogelijk maken. Dus support dat ook, want daardoor kan Charlie Hall bijvoorbeeld overkomen vanuit de UK om zo'n show te spelen. Anders was dat ook simpelweg niet mogelijk. Dus iedereen die daarbij wilt zijn, meld je even aan op het Facebook-event. Ik zet dat ook gewoon in de show notes erbij. En dat is het dingetje wat ik in ieder geval even in het Nederlands wilde zeggen voor iedereen die luistert. En iedereen, everyone that listen in English, sorry for switching to Dutch. But what I was saying is that we're going to do a new SharQ Sessions live on the 18th of December. For more information, just read the show notes. That's easier for me than to have to talk everything again. Let's close this up. We're going to have a really good burger from Wiek. Let's close this. And for everyone that listening. Thank you very much for listening. And there are the burgers live.
Wow.
Thank you very much for listening. Bye.